kinds of transformations or differences have you seen in individuals or in organizations that have embraced these kinds of processes and mindsets?
I'd say and I didn't, when I first came up with the code, it's life's a process, and a journey, not a destination. My first book, 10 Techniques of Quick Rapport, that's where I thought it was at the time. And then from rapport, I understood, well, I'm doing that because I want trust. And from trust, I'm getting relationships. And when I came up with the code of trust, it was amazing what's happened. Like you say, the impact over the long term. It has literally calmed my life down because there's no drama. When you're so focused on healthy relationships, drama starts flowing away because you're validating others, seeking the thoughts and opinions, empowering them with choice, and not judging. Doesn't mean you agree with or anything else. You're just not judging. There's a big difference. And what happens is when you start interacting with people in that way, whether it's business or home, their lives start calming down because you're no longer stressful in their lives. And then they start being less tolerant of drama in their life. So I have noticed, not just in companies, but in my own personal life, it's a calming. It is a massive, in other words, everyone becomes very, very thoughtful and cognitive and very empathetic and understanding of others. And when you release all drama and crazy brain, I'm telling you, you can do anything because then you have nothing but relationships. And anyone's willing to do anything for everyone else because they know you're there for them. Know the resources available for them. And that was the original intent and still is, I believe, of B2B, as being resources for each other. Well, when you remove the agenda, the personal agenda, and you actually are a resource for others and there's no drama, that's the transformation.
Yeah. And things happen. I won't say that things happen without effort, but it doesn't, like you said, it's not as stressful. It doesn't feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill. It's more you're attracting these kinds of things to you through the relationships that you've established.
And that's such a great analogy. I call it knocking on the door, or you can push a boulder. Now, at my point when I'm doing this, if I start pushing a boulder, I immediately say, I am not meant to be pushing a boulder. There's got to be another relationship here that can do just exactly what I'm looking for. So I immediately take a step back and look around at the relationships. Oh, it's right over here. There's no stress. It's just trying to figure out the way through the people in your life.
Yeah. And if that's one thing that I know sales managers especially are looking for is to be less stressed. And if there's one thing that managers, I think, grapple with is how do I make this about my team and not about me? Because they've gone from independent salesperson all the way up into a manager, whereas a salesperson was about them and their quota. But even salespeople are stressed and maxed out. We only have so much time. Everybody's busy and distracted. Mm-hmm. And you have this pressure coming down from above of meet your quota, meet your quota. And it's hard to get that headspace of how do I make this all about them? It's definitely a cognitive switch that you have to try and work at. And it's something you work at every single day. It's not like suddenly you've learned it and now it's going to come natural to you all the time. Because like you said in the beginning, our natural state is to look out for what's for us.
And you talk about the stresses that come through trying to make quotas or trying to please the boss with all these things. And people become fearful of time. But what people fail to realize is if you have that depth of relationship and you start getting brands, you don't have to worry about time because people will be beating down your door to be part of your team, part of your life. It takes a little bit of patience and not trying to force it, because anytime you try to control time, effort, thoughts, or opinions or anything, you're actually manipulating. Mm-hmm. Any attempt of control with the use of subterfuge or deception is manipulation. And when it's picked up on, no one wants to be part of that. You've got to let go of it. And that's when it starts happening. And every single time I've talked to lots of companies, lots of salespeople, and at the end of these things, I never really have the guy that's been their most successful sales guy for like 30, 40, 50 years come up to me and say after me, that's what I was doing. I had no idea that was it. They're playing golf with maybe one or two people on the golf course. Take some time up out of the day, but they're trying to maintain a quota of like 100. Well, those one or two people are going back to their companies and their people in their circles and the people they play golf with. Then what happens? They'll come flocking.
Yep, absolutely.